Victory Monday. Y'all know what it is, man. We got 8:45 Pacific Standard Time. Good morning, nation. Shout out to everybody in the building. Y'all know what it is, man. We got a Victory Monday on our hands. Crazy overtime thriller against the Saints, putting up some big numbers, y'all. Putting up some big numbers, showing off that offense that we were anticipating to see this season. This whole offseason, we were anticipating to see this thing, man. And I see some people in the chat. I see my guy in the chat. He says, playoffs. Look. I had to throw it in there. We're going to look at the schedule today. Let's not get our panties in the bunch because it is Victory Monday. Shout out to Batista in the building. Let's go, Raider Nation. You know what it is, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Robert Penna in the building. Good morning to you as well, man. Ricardo, what's good? Jacobs leading the league in rushing. He's leading the league in all-purpose yards as well, man. Leading the league in all-purpose yards as well. So that's something to also take a look at because that means he's catching some passes out of the backfield. And I think it's based off of this last game, kind of put him over that hump. Majority of them are rushing yards, but we'll get into it shortly. Raider Ross in the building. Good morning to you as well. Victory, let's go, nation. Ross has a say. SVT in the building. Victory Monday, let's effing go. Raiders, yes, sir. Appreciate y'all being here. Good morning to everybody in the nation, man. Dominique 5 pulling up on us, man. You know what it is. Salute to the entire nation, man. Appreciate y'all being out here with me. Native Raider, what's up with you, homie? Appreciate you being here, dog. You know what it is. NorCal Jesse in the building. Salute to the Demon Child pulling up on us. Alex S is in the building as well. You know what it is. Tickler, what's good with you, man? He says, good morning, nation. Yee, what a game. So exciting. Best game of the NFL season so far. Definitely was. That big break, Josh Jacobs going down for the 86-yard touchdown run to close the game was something we had to have, right? Something we had to have to spark this season, something we needed to spark the fans. I feel like I needed this personally because I've been pretty down on the season. But after yesterday's game, you can't help but to get excited. You can't help but to be pumped and get ready for the next game, especially because we got to go up against the Chargers, man. If we go out there and we beat the Chargers, man, best believe the roof gonna blow off the motherfucking house, man. I ain't gonna cap on you right now. If we go out there and we beat the Chargers, and you're talking about we're 5-7, and the Chargers sit at 6-6, and we're 5-7. It's gonna be the script is gonna change, y'all. The script is really gonna change. Thick Frame E says, "What's good, Ray? Might as well win out at this point. At least let's beat the Niners." This is one game I do want to win is against the Niners. That's the only game I want to win. Not only game. I'm saying that's the main game I want to win, I should say, in other words. Just because I got some money on that game. I got some money on the Niners game, so we got to win that one. Angel Hernandez in the building says, pay that man. On the side note, order some redemption hats. Beige with the black looks fire. Appreciate you, big dog. Shout out to Angel. Thank you for supporting the brand, man. The sale did end yesterday, so shout out to everybody that was able to get it in. Yeah, you got to pay that man, Jacobs. And we're going to talk about it today because it's a double-edged sword. It really is a double-edged sword when you look at it based on our cap space, based on how much we've already invested in the offense. It would be hard to let Josh Jacobs walk away for absolutely nothing. And we'll hop into it, man. It's going to be a tough one to talk about because I know a lot of people want to keep him. I've been hearing people want to trade Waller now, which I'm very surprised. It's just crazy how things change so fast, man. And, it's crazy how things just change so fast. We talked about trading Waller last year. It was almost blasphemous to even bring that up or even mention it. Took a lot of heat for even bringing it up, but it seemed like it's a feasible thing to do now, and I'm not mad at it all. I'm not mad at it all. Shout out to Yaya Hadamaki in the building. On them wind is breezing through this good morning. Shout out to you, Vincent Flores, pulling up on us. JD in the building. Shout out to SoCal. You know what it is, hold it down out there in LA. If y'all can, make sure to hit that like button. Y'all appreciate y'all pulling up, man. You know what it is. We just getting warmed up. Prezi Prez in the building. What's good with you, cousin? You know what time it is. You know what type of time we on. Spotlight. Long time no see. Shout out to you. Hope you're doing well, dog. Hope you're doing well. Ray, you made me laugh on Twitter. Hey, man, Twitter is a different place, man. And I got to be going in on that thing sometimes. I got to take a chill pill, to be honest. Nigerian Prince, bro, defense low-key showed up. You in trouble when Perriman getting an interception. That right there, and like I said, we're going to talk about it in this one, man, because I feel like it's the same formula. For those that have been following me, for those that have been watching these Good Morning Nations week after every game, the formula has been the same. It's been the same, right? The defense always comes through in the end. You can't really name a game this year that the defense doesn't come through in the end. Now, people will say we give up points. Yes, we do. Every defense does. Our defense isn't good, right? We didn't really invest a lot into the defense this offseason to say, oh, I expect our defense to go from 25th to 15th. We didn't do those moves, right? I expected our offense to. So the fact that they came and showed up, Perriman goes out there, gets an interception. You talk about Merrick starting to step up, get some PBUs. You're talking about Max Crosby. Max Crosby was able to go out there. Look, Nigerian Prince got me going on a defensive tangent now. Max Crosby showed up, y'all. Max Crosby did his damn thing. He did what he needed to do to go out there and really close the drives. He didn't really close the game. I would really love to say that one day that he closed the game. He goes out there, gets a strip sack fumble. We get the ball back in field goal range, go out there, kick the field goal, win the game. Would love to see that happen. It would remind me of like Khalil Mack kind of vibes. But the fact he's able to go out there, gets the sack in a primetime situation, we go into OT. Gets another one when it's a third down situation so we can get the ball back and go out there and score. So you talk about the fact that Max Crosby is able to show up, and he's the only one showing up. Max Crosby, the only one showing up. Love to see it, though, that he's actually able to be someone that we can depend on with the game on the line, y'all. Let's be honest. With the game on the line, we were really able to depend on him. So far, he has 10.5 sacks. He has 10.5 sacks so far this season. So shout out to Max Crosby, man. Shout out to Max Crosby. What's up from the far east? Shima says, shout out to Shima for being here with us today. Hey, Yaya, he says Raiders season starting. It's starting, man. It is starting. Best believe. Best believe. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Over 100 people in the chat. We need at least 100 likes. Y'all know how we get down, man. Rate that like button. Hit the subscribe if y'all new here. Robert Penner, Jackie. Shout out to Jackie for being with us. Quiet Storm, long time no see, brother. Appreciate you being out here with us. Shout out to everybody on their way to work. That's at work, school, going to the gym, whatever you got going on. Make sure you get your grind time in because this is the start of a Victory Monday. Yes, sir. Let's talk about it, man. 12th man on the field. Yo, Seahawks take that 12th man serious. They take that 12th man serious, don't they? Let me see if I can pull that up, man, because that I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny, man. I'm not even gonna lie. The fact that they got an extra guy going out there now. Now, to talk about the extra guy, I honestly feel as if that guy ran on the field to celebrate, but he went out there to celebrate and he thought the play was over. And obviously it wasn't over. So he ended up catching himself. He got caught in the twilight zone. You feel me? He got caught in the twilight zone. So he ended up running out there, realized the play wasn't dead. And he's like, shit, I better put a body on somebody. And that's what he did. It was actually pretty funny, to say the least. Let's see if we can pull it up real quick, because I ain't going to lie. It was actually pretty funny. Here it is right here. This man, San G, had posted. Shout out to San G on Twitter. Let's see what SVT is talking about. For those who don't know what we're talking about, a 12th man ran out on the field from the sidelines in the Seahawks game. See if we can pull it up real quick. Hopefully I don't get demonetized for showing y'all this. But you can see down here, where this red box is, that this dude ran out on the field. I'm going to go ahead and press play. See, number 52? Number 52 is going to pop up out on the screen. He's down here. They got a 12th man came off the sidelines. This man came off the sidelines. Look at him, lost. He's like, oh, snap. See how you didn't even want to really block him? The rest didn't even call a penalty. He's down here at the sidelines, right here. Watch him pop up. Boom. He thought the play was over. What a damn fool. Let me tell you, man. But, hey, it is what it is, man. The refs didn't call that. And, yo, do y'all remember? This is something I feel like that's kind of underrated. But do y'all remember that pass Devontae Adams caught on the sidelines, that one-handed catch that he grabbed? And they didn't call a pass interference on that? I don't know, man. I don't know. Shout out to Jason Marshall for pulling up on us. Raider Reaper in the building as well. He says, drop the snow bunnies and started being a good man to my baby mama, and we started winning. I see you, God. Shout out to Raider Reaper, bro. You dropped the snow bunnies. I don't know. I might have to pick a couple of them things up, man, because I think it's time. I think it's time to pick up some snow bunnies. But shout out to you, man. Do good, man. Be a righteous man. Be a righteous man. You definitely don't want to piss off the baby moms. But you got to put her in place. You feel me? Shout out to you, Raider Reaper. Justin Gandy says Raiders must defend the middle of the field in order to beat the Chargers. The pass rush has finally shown a glimpse of what they can become. Now, I definitely want to look at the film this week and see how much Jason Tillery is actually providing us in the middle of the defense. Jason Tillery may be a guy that's helping the interior of this defensive line. You know, you talk about Andrew Billings going out there making several plays, being able to produce some pressure in the middle of the field, which we haven't had all year. Finally, he's able to step up. But the sad part is that he ended up going out and looked like he was having some type of injury. And hopefully it's not long lasting because he was starting to come on. He was starting to come on strong, man. White Tyson in the building. He says, turning point for the season. Is this the turning? Let me know down in the comments. Do you guys think this is the turning point for the season right here? You talk about the record at 4-7. We go ahead and bring up the standings. We talked a little about the defense, but you go ahead and bring up the standings. If I could figure out where the standings are at. How do you look at the full schedule? Transaction stats. Anyways, go ahead and bring this schedule. Is this the turning point of the season? Let me know down in the comments, man. Appreciate y'all being in here. Mike Morris in the building. He says, got to beat the Chokers, but I really want to beat the Niners. That's my brother's team. I don't know what's wrong with him. Hey, that boy funny. He said, I don't know what's wrong with him. He said, pray for my brother. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He's just a Niners fan. Make sure to send them prayers, man. Gene in the building. What's up, Ray? Let's go, Raiders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Agent Red in the building. I see you, man. What's good, my brother Ray? How about that boy Jacobs? Wow. And Mad Max being a beast again. Let's effing go. Hope all y'all had a great Thanksgiving. And what a hell of a week, man, to have and then go into Sunday and get that victory. You know what it is, brother. Shout out to Augie. He says, shout out from the Bay Area. Let's effing go. Raiders. Restructure Carr if he stays. I don't want to get into that conversation right now, man. But one thing is for certain that we got our first super chat of the day. Shout out to John Rodriguez. He says, sorry, Ray, but because of our cap situation, we need to either reconstruct Carr's contract or trade or release him if he's not willing to help the team out. Hendon Hooker, late round pick. Oof. J-Rod, you got me on a tough one right there. Now, look, you guys know I've been criticizing Derek Carr. The fact that Derek Carr, it's hard for me to talk about this because I know a lot of people are so walking on eggshells when you talk about Derek Carr. Because if you criticize him, everybody calls you a Carr hater. If you say he played good, then you're a Carr supporter or a Carr stance. So it's so hard to talk about him. Now, as far as his contract, I definitely think he would reconstruct. I think Carr is one of those guys you can go talk to about the contract situation and say, look, man, can you change a few things on your contract so we can bring back Josh Jacobs? Carr's going to probably look at you and say, well, if it's to bring back Josh Jacobs, if it's to give Josh Jacobs money, yes, I'm willing to do it. You could probably even do it with Devontae Adams. I mean, let's be honest. You could probably do it with Adams, probably do it with Renfro. Let's be honest, Renfro as well. A lot of people have also brought up the fact of trading Darren Waller. I don't know how people feel about that, but people have brought up trading Darren Waller, getting off of that contract, off the Darren Waller contract, getting some draft capital for him, saving the money from trading him and using it for Josh Jacobs. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but let me know down in the comments, in the chat, what do you guys think about that? And how would you be able to move things around to have Josh Jacobs stay a part of this football team? Let me know down in the chat, man. Jackie in the building. I see you. That game was a good one to go to. Were you at the game, Jackie? I had a couple of people DM me, and they told me that they were at the game, and I was just thinking about them the whole time. Like, bro, that's a hell of a game to go to. That's a hell of a game to go to. Let me catch up to the chat, though, man. I am a little bit behind. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if y'all new here. Raid the like button. Y'all know what it is. Let's get it, man. Let's get it, man. But let me catch up to this chat real quick. Need Max. Yes, most definitely. Our defensive tackle did good this game. They need to meet it. They need to meet it up. Just win, baby. Most definitely. Most definitely. Just win, baby. I don't know what you about meet it up, though. Being City in the building. He says, Ray, my brother, I was there yesterday. I met Dave Ziegler. He took a selfie with me and I signed. What? Damn, where the hell were you at, Van City? You got on the field. Where were you at? You went to the locker room? How the hell did you meet Dave Ziegler and take a selfie with that man? Shout out to Van City. He's out there getting the exclusive. The exclusive is how I look over there, man. Shout out to you, bro. That's what's up. You must have been juiced. You got a crazy game to go to. And then you also meet the GM of the Raiders. I would have had a few words for that mother effer. But at the same time, shout out to you, bro. I know you had a blast, Van City. Appreciate you, man. Mike Moore says, I like Merrick, and he's getting better, but he's the epitome of that's why DBs don't play wide receiver. He really is, man. He really is. That man's got stone hands. I don't know what it is about Trayvon Merrick, but he got some stone hands, okay? K-Town Raider, yo, Raid, I was at the game. Environment was absolutely electric. I will never forget yesterday. Josh Jacobs is him. Shout out to K-Town. See, a lot of people were at that game, man, and y'all making me feel like I missed out big time now. Y'all making me feel like I missed out big time, but shout out to you. I'm glad everybody out there had a blast, and I'm glad we got the victory, yo. I really am. I really am. 2-6 says, didn't they take the 12th man thing from some team in college? If so, they are so not original. Honestly, I don't know where they got that from. I'll be 100%. I do not have any idea where they got that 12th man thing from. What's popping, Brian Chavez? I see you in the building, man. I see you in the building. Revenge game on deck for Tillery. Definitely is. I hope he goes out there and he goes ham, okay? Max Crosby usually shows out against the Chargers as well. So if you get a guy like Jason Tillery to go out there in the middle of the defense, and especially if Andrew Billings is hurt long-term, we're going to have him step up. We got to have a little nickel step up as well. Kyle Peckel came in for a short amount of time for some reps, and he was able to step up and make some plays in the run game. But as far as the passing defense, as far as the interior pressure on the passing downs, we need Tillery and Nichols to step up big time, y'all. We got to have Nichols and Tillery step up big time. Got to watch the film on Tillery and Merrick this week, okay? Going to have to check that out. Probably post that later this week. Mike says it kind of feels like last year. It kind of does. It really does. No cap, man. You 100% right. The only thing is that we're down 7 losses already. That's the only thing that kind of sucks. Last year, we started off hot. Last year, remember, we were 5-2 at one point last year. And then all of a sudden, it was what? We were 5-5, right? So we went 5-2. Then all of a sudden, we were like 5-5 last year. So hopefully, we're able to fix this and figure it out. Tickle says 7-7 would be the turning point. It wouldn't make me question my thoughts on Carr. I don't think if we went 7-7, it would really question any thoughts on Carr, because I don't think any of us think Carr is a bad quarterback. I don't think Carr is a bad quarterback. Not by a long shot. He's not a bad quarterback. Only thing is for me is that I think it's going to take up to the point that we finally have a good team around Carr to where we have a good defense. We have Devontae Adams. We have a Josh Jacobs. We have a great offensive line. And then once we get to that point, we're going to find out we've met the threshold that the only position that we can upgrade, the position that we can upgrade would be quarterback at that point. And that's when we'll realize that it's time to move on. But until then, we'll always have this conversation, and I don't want to get into it because Carr's a good quarterback, and it's hard to find a quarterback to replace him because it's risky. And I see what people are saying about it. But at the same time, until we make everything around Carr good, we're not going to be able to get past it, because then at that point, we'll be able to evaluate Carr and say there's only one position left to upgrade. There's only one spot for us to be better at, and it will be the quarterback position. And this is kind of where the dialogue I had about Derek Carr and Patrick Mahomes came. And people kept trying to say, well, you keep trying to compare Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback, to Derek Carr. That really says something. And it's not that I'm trying to compare him to the best quarterback in the league. I'm trying to compare him to the best quarterback in our division. I'm trying to compare him to our division leaders. And it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs have owned this division for almost a decade now. So when you talk about what the Chiefs have had to do for Patrick Mahomes, knowing Patrick Mahomes is way better than Derek Carr. Like when you see those memes to where it says you have $15 to spend, you could buy a quarterback for $5. You could buy this receiver for $5, but this quarterback costs $2 or $3. Carr would cost like $2 or $3. Mahomes would cost $5. Now everything else has to be just as good for Derek Carr as it would for Patrick Mahomes. Or excuse me, it would have to be better for Derek Carr than it would be Patrick Mahomes. So if it took Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Andy Reid as the coach, a top 10 defense, if it took all that for Patrick Mahomes to be successful, then what would it take for Derek Carr to be successful? It would have to take more if the gap between the two quarterbacks is so much. And we know that Patrick Mahomes is better. So that's, for me, is my logic on it. That's why I don't think Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. But the gap between him and the next guy that we have to face, we have to put so much more around the team and build such a better team around Carr than other teams do, that it's going to be hard to build that. As a Raiders fan, I've been looking to build that, but it's so hard that I don't know if we're going to be able to bridge that gap. And it's not an indictment on Derek Carr as much as it is just saying we have so much more competition. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to you, Tickler. Sorry I had to go on that long dialogue, but I'm trying to prove this point that it's not Carr being a bad quarterback. It's us having to build such a better team than what other people need to do. That's all I'm saying. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, they don't have a Josh Jacobs. You know what I mean? They don't have a guy out there rushing for over 300 all-purpose yards. Aaron Rodgers just lost Devontae Adams. That's really all he had. And look, they're kind of going in shambles. We get Devontae Adams, and we're still in shambles. So it's just hard for me to kind of dissect it and understand that, okay, if we do get a top 10 defense, if we do have Devontae Adams, if we do have Josh Jacobs, if we do have a good head coach, that finally will be good. And then we'll realize, okay, the only shortcoming we have is quarterback now, because we have the best receiver. We have a top 10 defense that helps win us games. But now the difference is quarterback. So that's my explanation on that. Shout out to J-Rod. He says, reconstruct Carr's contract, get rid of Waller, and go after Caleb Williams after next year. Williams is a serious baller. There's no way, I've been seeing people say this, J-Rod, and there's no way in hell we're going to be able to get Caleb Williams. If Caleb Williams is as good as everybody says, if Caleb Williams is that guy, there's no way we're going to have the first round or first pick of the draft, especially if you have Derek Carr. You will never have the number one pick overall while having Derek Carr on your team, because he will win you some games. He's a good quarterback. He will win you some games. He might win you 4 or 5 on a, so then that's going to push you outside of that quarterback opportunity. We've never been in an opportunity to get a quarterback since we've had Carr. So I don't see that even happening, and I don't want to go down this anymore. I appreciate the super chats, but Carr will reconstruct, I think, if you ask him. He's a team player. Carr is definitely a team player. Let me get down to this next super chat, man, and get back into the what y'all have to say, man. Raider Reaper says, win plus Colts lose, and we back in 8th wild card spot. Yo, that's wild, man. Gonna have to look at the playoff picture here in a second. Playoff standings. Let's see if we can pull up the playoff standings for the Raiders. If y'all can, make sure to hit that like button, y'all. Appreciate you guys being here with us. Give me one moment. I want to look at these standings for the AFC real quick and see if I can pull it up for you guys so we can just take a quick peek at what Raider Reaper is saying on the super chat. And right now, we're looking at the Dolphins. I wish they organized it in a reasonable fashion. But all right, now let's go ahead and take a look at our division. The Chiefs have the best record in our conference, okay? The Chiefs have the best record in our conference. This is why I always compare us to them, because this is who we have to compete against twice a year, and then we'll have to see them in the playoffs if we want to win. So you're talking about the Raiders on a 2-game winning streak. The Chargers are sitting at 6-5, and we play them next. We play the Chargers next, y'all, right here. Sunday, December 4th, a 1 o'clock game. I don't know who's going to that game. Let me know who's going to that game. I don't know. I might buy some last-minute tickets and go to this mug. I ain't going to cap. This is going to be a crazy game. I bet you it's going to be a fun game. I kind of want to go. But let's get back to the standings. We're looking at really one game behind the Chargers if we go out there and win. One game behind the Chargers if we go out there and win. Only thing that worries me is the fact that the Jets are still lingering, right? This entire AFC East division, it's lingering, man. And they really need to knock each other off, right? We need the Bills to continue. We need these top two teams to knock these two teams off because we don't play these guys. So they just have to lose in general because we're not going to be able to go out there and knock them off. You talk about the Ravens and the Bengals. Those are two competitors. The Titans at 7-4. So you have 1, 2, 3. So you have the Titans, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Chiefs, most definitely, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Then you have the Jets at 7-4. So a lot would have to happen, and I think it could happen. I definitely think it could happen. That's talking about the playoffs. And I know you guys at the beginning of this live was talking about playoffs, but it could happen. It could happen. Like I predicted us going 9-8 wild card spot. So we'll see what happens, man. It would be crazy. I'll be honest. It would be crazy if we ended up getting that. Justice in the building says, when it comes to quarterbacks and leadership, I'd say he's top tier with all the adversity. How much value would you give leadership looking at Russell Wilson? Now, this is the thing. I don't think Russell Wilson is that great of a quarterback, and I never thought he was. I said it last year. I even said it last year. I've said that I would take Derek Carr over Russell Wilson. We talked about it all last year. Russell Wilson, the Denver Broncos, I'm glad they did that because now the Denver Broncos kind of shit the bed. That works in our favor, right? The Denver Broncos shit the bed. They went out there, traded for Russell Wilson, gave all the draft capital away. Now the Seahawks are getting a top 3 pick and not the Broncos. So we should probably be glad about that because the Broncos could go out there and get their next quarterback, right? But they're stuck now. They kind of screwed themselves. So thankfully the Broncos screwed themselves. So let's be happy about that. Now, as far as your question, how much value would you give leadership? I'd give a ton of value to leadership. And that's why Derek Carr is one of the better quarterbacks. You talk about last year how he's able to fight through adversity, and he's continuing to show it this year when he goes out there. Yes, he dropped a couple of tears earlier this season, but he comes out and he gets a couple of victories. Not only that, this game kind of shows Derek Carr's career as well. He goes out there, throws 2 interceptions, but then he finishes the game with 3 touchdowns. And what's crazy is the simple fact that he hasn't thrown for 3 touchdowns in over 2 seasons. We looked at it yesterday in the post game live. It's been over 2 years since this man has thrown for 3 touchdowns, and he does it in the same game he throws 2 interceptions. So, it just goes to show what kind of person Derek Carr is. He could fight through adversity. I give him that. That contributes to him being a good quarterback. And I know that's why a lot of people like him because, one, he's a good person. He's a good leader. He's been with us for 9 years through all of the rain, through all of the BS we've had to deal with as Raider fans. He's dealt with what Raider fans had to deal with, if not more. Let's be honest. So I give him that stuff in respect. But at the same time, like I said, once we build a team around Derek Carr, we're going to realize at that moment, we're going to get to a point in that threshold that says there's only one spot left that we can upgrade. There's only one spot left we could do anything to become better, and it will be the quarterback position ultimately. That's of course just my opinion on that. SVT says y'all can kiss a top 10 pick goodbye. Definitely. And SVT, I'm kind of concerned because earlier this year I was talking with Raider Ray and I was talking with Farrell NFL. And just kind of a little bit of banter. I was just like, what's going to end up happening is we're going to fall out of the top 10 picks and we're going to end up drafting an offensive lineman in the first round. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's probably going to be my prediction. Just hear me out. That's probably going to be my prediction. I feel like we're going to end up falling out of the top 10 of the draft, and we're going to pick an offensive lineman. So, just it may or may not happen, but I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. Would not be surprised. Raider Reaper back at it. He says, come to the Rams game in LA November 8th. December 8th, you talking about? Pizza's on me. Raider Reaper, bruh. I might just have to take that up, man. I might just have to take that up with you. Right here, they play Thursday, December 8th. That's my wife's birthday, actually. December 8th, my wife's birthday. I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that one. I might have to sit back on that one. Also, I work that day. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. But this game up against the Chargers, I don't know. I might have to hit Vegas, man. Might have to hit Vegas. Who's going to that game? Who's trying to go to this? Who's trying to go to this Chargers game? Y'all let me know. Who's trying to go to this Chargers game, man? Let me get back to the comments, man. Brandon, shout out to Riddle Sprigger. He says that's why the team was chanting DC, DC, DC because they believe in him. 100%. 100%. In my last video I had posted, I had said that as well. I gave him his flowers and I had to give him his praise. You know, this locker room looks like they believe in Derek Carr. And that's really all you need. You talk about going into the locker room after the game and you see back-to-back wins. You see back-to-back locker room presence of him and Josh McDaniels. Not only Derek Carr, but I think Josh McDaniels is starting to win over this football team, only based off of the simple fact that he makes good play calls. I mean, a lot of people don't like Josh McDaniels, but this dude knows how to call a game. I'm sorry, guys. A lot of those play calls are pretty good. Like, he'll come out and he'll call some shit like, damn, that's a good play call. Now, there's some that are questionable. Like the freaking toss, it's 4th and inches. Why are you tossing the football when it's 4th and inches? So I do understand the frustration with McDaniels, but he is a hell of a play caller. He's still missing some things to be a good head coach. But offensive coordinator, I see why he was such a good offensive coordinator. 2G News says, I like to see the Raiders pick up. Yeah, most definitely. Appreciate that, 2G News. I don't know if you're a Raiders fan, but most definitely. Can we please draft another Leatherwood? Demon Child, I see why your name is Demon Child. Please no. Please no. I hope not. Gilbert says way better than Derek Carr, but we still lost only by 1. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Kenny Mack says, Raid, we're currently number 9 in the upcoming draft. Yeah, but if we continue winning, we're not going to be. We're probably going to pick somewhere between 12 and 16, in my opinion. That's just me, though. That's just my opinion. Gord says, do y'all realize Crosby was a 4th-round pick? Why are some so insistent on having a top 10 pick? Yeah, but Crosby is an anomaly. See, that's disingenuous when you put comments like this. It's disingenuous because it's not realistic. How many Crosbys did we have? How many Crosbys do we have from the 4th round? Didn't we have like multiple 4th-round picks, multiple 3rd-round picks? And how many Crosbys did we have? We only got 1. It's an anomaly. So quit trying to use this anomaly as if we're going to go out there and we're going to get another Crosby with the 4th-round pick. It's not that likely, man. A lot of times the 4th-round picks don't even make the damn team. So let's not use an exception to the rule of generalities. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense to use an exception. Yeah, there's an ugly-ass guy that got the baddest bitch in the club. That's an exception. Usually a broke, ugly guy is not going to get a bad bitch. Well, you're going to use that as an exception because you're an ugly guy? You know, come on now. Make it make sense. That's dumbass shit. That disingenuous stuff be pissing me off. Mike Moore says, I'm not worried about having a top 10 pick. Sure, you can miss out on a really good talent, but good GMs can build with what they have for picks. We got like 12 picks. Texans stay top 10. 100% agree with that, Mike Morris. I don't think it's necessary that we have to have a top 10 pick. I don't think it's that necessary to have a top 10 pick. I think SVT was just talking about the fact that we're going to start winning. I think he was just trying to get the vibe that, look, we're going to start winning, so we're going to drop in the draft. And I'm not mad at that. If we're going to win, let's win. And it's kind of like what you said earlier, Mike. Is this like last year? Last year, we went on a 6-game winning streak. Could we do that this season? Let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule real quick, because I believe this is something that we could definitely do. We could definitely go on a winning streak. Why couldn't we? I don't see why not. If you don't think we could go on a winning streak, let me know down in the chat right now. Let me know in the chat if you guys think we could go on a winning streak. As a matter of fact, I don't see why not. Let's go ahead and take a look at this schedule real quick, man. We got the Los Angeles Chargers. We got to beat the Chokers. We're at home. It's the Chokers. We got to split with them. We split with them the last few years. We swept the Donkeys. If we go out there and we split with the Chargers, we're right back in the thick of things. At the end of the day, we're right back in the thick of things. But then you talk about Thursday night game against the Rams. Now, I know Matthew Stafford was out this last game. I don't know how long Matthew Stafford is going to be out. You guys let me know in the chat if you do. But going up against the Rams, I'm not too concerned. The Rams haven't been the Rams. Can we all agree on that? Can we agree that the Rams have not been the Rams that we know of? Now, could we go out there and beat them? I definitely think we could. That'll be 4 games in a row. I don't want to get too far ahead, but that would be 4 games in a row. Then you talk about going up against the New England Patriots. Now, this game, I feel like Josh McDaniels, this is going to be one for Josh McDaniels to take personal, in my opinion. I think this is like a revenge game for Josh McDaniels to go out there and say, I can be my own man, and I could go out there and I could beat my predecessor, right? Or excuse me, he's the predecessor. So he could go out there and beat his former, mentor in Bill Belichick. So that one, the New England one, is going to be tricky, in my opinion. I think it's going to be tricky, and I think it's going to be a very fun chess match between McDaniels and Bill Belichick. I think it's going to be a great one to watch. So I think we should focus on this next game against the Chokers. Definitely focus on the Chokers, and then we'll move on. We got to go out there to Vegas, go back home, settle in, and beat the Chargers. We've been playing good at home as well this season. And the fact that the last 2 games that we had were on the road and we won, I don't know. I feel pretty good about that. Now, the only thing that's disheartening is the fact that we lose to the Colts at home prior to. You know what I mean? We lose to the Colts at home prior to, and that's disheartening. But moving forward, we leave, go beat the Donkeys in Mile High, go beat the 12th man in the rainy Seattle state of Washington. So the Chokers, man, that's what we got next. Let's not look too far ahead, though, man. Let's not look too far ahead. Gord says, Raid promoting losing culture. Y'all be so negative, bro. Y'all be so negative. Like, y'all just be in here negative as hell. I ain't even going to read your comments no more, Gord. I ain't going to block you, but you negative, bro. Like, we won, and you trying to just come in here and change the vibe. Get the hell out of here. Black Sunday says we're going to win out and make the playoffs. Win out. It's going to be a tough one to win out. I definitely do. I think our toughest match following, excuse me. Oof. I said excuse me. Sorry about that. A little sneeze. But let's go ahead and take a look real quick. I don't want to look too far ahead, but he says win out. What is our toughest matchup so far? Let's think about it. Our last 2 freaking games. Our last 2 games, y'all. We got Kansas City and we got San Francisco. Those 2 games are going to be brutal. Those two games are going to be brutal because you think about it. Black Sunday says if we win out, if we beat these next 4 games, if we win these next 4 games, that'd be a 6-game winning streak. At that point, we would run into a brick wall, in my opinion. San Francisco and Kansas City in back-to-back weeks, those are playoff games. And if we continue to win, there basically might as well be playoff games because we might be in a situation where we're one and done. If we lose 1 game, we might be done because at that point, it's going to be crunch time. It's going to be difficult to really push for the playoffs because we'll probably be all neck and neck. We'll probably be neck and neck with the Chargers, with the Jets, and there'll be front runners like the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Bills, and maybe the Bengals, and maybe the Ravens. So, we'll be right in the thick of things if we do win these next 2 games, which I believe we should be able to do that, man. We have to. We have to. We have no choice. As a matter of fact, we have no choice. We have to at the end of the day. Let's move on. Let's get it, man. Don Kaizen. Shout out to you, DC. He says, I was there when we almost had the Chargers. We can definitely split them next week. What I am worried about is SF going off in our stadium in KC. Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, DC. You took the words right out of my mouth. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Now, one thing I would say for certain is that the Niners game worries me the most. And I'm going to tell you guys why. We don't play well against good defensive lines. It doesn't matter how good the defense is. In my opinion, I don't think it matters how good the defense is. It matters how good the defensive line is, and that's really been our downfall, especially with the kind of quarterback that we have that's not as mobile, that doesn't move as much, that doesn't have the greatest pocket presence, that doesn't really have the foot mechanics to be able to throw the ball by not stepping up or have that arm strength. So I think that's why we get hurt up against good defensive lines. You talk about the Saints. We got punished against the Saints because their defensive line was eating. The rest of the defense was trash. They didn't even have good DBs out there, but they're good. They had a good front. You talk about the Broncos. We play good against them because their front kind of sucks. I think the Broncos are more fundamentally good than anything else, and they have great defensive backs. They don't have Von Miller. They don't have Bradley Chubb. You talk about the Niners, though. The Niners front is crazy. The Niners front is crazy, and that's what I'm mainly worried about. That's pretty much what I'm worried about, is just going up against that Niners front, man, and it's going to be tough. And that's why I'm kind of worried about the Rams, but at the same time, Rams have their own concerns when it comes to their front. I mean, right now, they're just not themselves. But we'll see. That's been probably the most susceptible thing to our team, is that a good defensive line, we don't ever have a chance. Our offense never has a chance against a good D-line. Desert Raider says, I bet we get flexed out of the Xmas Eve game versus Pittsburgh. You know, I definitely think that's going to be the case. I was talking about that last week. Someone was like, oh, it was actually my girl. My girl was like, there's a game Saturday, and I work Saturday. So she was like, there's a game Saturday, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to stay like that. I think they're going to probably change it. She's like, why? I'm like, yeah, because we're not winning. Usually they want to have a pretty good game. But if we continue to rally some wins, we may stay in that spot. Now, we do play. Honestly, I don't know what it is about Derek Carr or just the Raiders in general, but damn, do we go out there and we be beating Pittsburgh? It may have been Big Ben, but honestly, I feel like we own the Steelers, man. I feel like we own the Steelers from as far as I'm concerned. Alex Mendoza, shout out for the super chat, brother. If y'all can, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new here. Appreciate you guys being with us. Let's see if we can get over 300 likes on this thing, man. If we can get 300 likes on this thing, man, I would appreciate it, because I like to hit that last 100th number. Alex Mendoza said, what's good, Ray? Victory Monday always feels good. Hope to get Renfro back and possible Waller and have this offense click and Hobbs on defense. You know, man, that's the crazy thing, Alex, is that we're not even 100%. We're not even 100%. And the fact that our offense is able to go out there and produce the way it is with Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams, and the defense, you know, the defense is the defense. We haven't really invested too much in the defense like we have the offense, but we don't even have Hobbs out there. And Hobbs is one of our better corners. And to see Anthony Averett go out there and get burnt like how he has been getting burnt, just think if we were to have Rocky Sin and Nate Hobbs and Sam Webb, we'd be that much better. A lot of more plays would be nullified. A lot more tackles on the edge would be made by Nate Hobbs, because he's a great tackler. He's a great person on the perimeter. So having Nate Hobbs back would definitely elevate our defense in situational moments. Now you want to talk about Hunter Renfrow. Not only do we need Hunter Renfrow back, and we talked about this last night, we need him back to take Keelan Cole's punt return job. Keelan Cole needs to get away from returning the football. He just needs to be off the team. Keelan Cole needs to go. He needs to be off the team. I don't care where he goes, but he can't be here. You feel me? Oh, let me get focus back. He can't. He just scares the shit out of me. Every time I see Keelan Cole on the field, he scares the shit out of me. I just don't like it, man. I just don't like him on the field. I feel like we should have kept Robinson. I liked him, but it is what it is. Yeah, but if we get Renfrow and Waller back, it's going to be a problem, bro. It's going to be a problem. We won, bro. Exactly, man. We won. Like, let's not dwell on the BS, bro. He said, promoting a losing culture, we won, bro. Go home. Yeah, like, what is we talking about? My guy was over here trying to pull out some negativity on some weird-ish, bro. Ray Zeus got some speed. 2 plays for 14 yards each. Yo, this Zeus is fast. Zeus is fast. He is a one-cut kind of running back. Or you could say a one-lane run hole, whatever you want to call it. Because once he hits the hole, he's fast, bro. And he is a strong, big back. And you talk about speed, this dude is going to take off. So I love to see Zeus go out there and spell Josh Jacobs. And I think this is something we have to do and continue seeing is watch Josh Jacobs get more catches out the damn backfield. Use him as a dual threat back. Use him and spread him out wide like we did and throw him out there so he gets a matchup with the DB. Because I'm sure him running and matching up with the DB with the ball in his hands, versus having to deal with running behind the offensive line that may or may not block for him efficiently and then running into 300-pound defensive linemen, sometimes he may be able to break for one if he's able to get off of that DB, and I'm sure he'll be able to. And DBs don't want to tackle Josh Jacobs. So get him out of the backfield, throw it to him, and let's see if we can get him some screens, because you notice every time we run a screen, it's always to Abdullah. Like, why can't we ever run a screen to Josh Jacobs? Maybe some trickery, maybe a play action that turns into a screen and throw it out to him. Maybe play action to Josh Jacobs and hit Murrow on the screen. Just little things like that. But I think we got to utilize Josh Jacobs a lot more. And I know he's doing great. I'm not saying he's doing bad at all, but I think the way we could use him, just like we use Devontae Adams to distract defenders going downfield, and then all of a sudden you get Matt Collins screaming across the field wide open, I feel like we could do the same with Josh Jacobs. Definitely could do the same with him. We just got to utilize it. And if CMC is healthy, we can't play receiver. Yeah, that's going to be an issue. CMC is going to be an issue for us. Blank Man says, yo, boy, Merrick trash is F. I don't think Merrick is trash. I don't know why you say that. You talking about a second-year safety? You're talking about a second-year safety that came into a new system, and he's trash. I'm not even going to go down that road. I'm not even going to use that analogy. Never mind. I'm not even going to go down that road. Raider Walker says, hey, Raid, when are you going to take out those hoodies? When are you going to take out those hoodie sweaters that you're wearing for sale on your website? I appreciate you, dog. Hopefully next month, this upcoming month, within the next few weeks, I think I should be getting these hoodies in, man. Appreciate you asking. Yes. Should be getting them here soon, man. Should be getting them here soon. Appreciate you asking, brother. Yeah, I don't know where they're getting that from. I never brought it up. I never even talked about that. So I don't know why we got to go into that dialogue. It's just I don't get it. I don't get it. Agent Red says, if we go on a run, they're keeping it on national TV. Most definitely. And that's kind of what I'm saying. If we're winning, they're going to keep that on national TV, man. They're going to want to see, because Raiders football, the league is better when the Raiders win. Everybody knows that. The league's better when the Raiders win. And also, they know Raiders tune in. So they know they're going to want them numbers on the TV screen. You feel me? They know the Raiders football is going to tune in, and they're going to watch on Christmas Eve. So they know they want to keep that one up there. The only thing I hate is how they always love to put the Cowboys on holidays. I'm like, I ain't trying to watch the damn Cowboys, bro. I ain't trying to watch no damn Cowboys all the time. I Glover 15 says the Raiders showed a flash of brilliance that won't carry over for the remainder. Too late. Too little, too late. Damn, IG Lover, it's like that. You came in with the haymaker. Shout out to D-Minutes 4200. He says, Raiders. Yes, sir, bro. Appreciate the super chat, man. You know what it is. You know what it is. Bro, I was off the Hennessy and eggnog and the banana kush all game yesterday. My voice is gone. You was lit as hell yesterday, bro. I ain't gonna cap. I don't know about that. You was lit, boy. You was lit. If we kept Drake, Aguilar, and Ngakoue this year, we would be 7-4 instead. I don't know, man. I don't know about that, man. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, man. But let's just keep rolling. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. Let's just keep rolling, man. Big Boss says, I never was a fan of Cole. Yeah, cool. I don't know, man. Hey, man, why y'all talking? Y'all be a damn fool up in this mug, bro. Y'all be a fool up in this mug. Keelan Cole, yeah, you got to go for real, bro. I'm sorry, but you got to go, bro. He says, Keelan Cole, I shit myself every time they put me up. The thing is, we have DJ Turner activated. We have Amir Abdullah activated. Are they not good at punt returning? Like, is Keelan Cole better than Amir Abdullah? Is Keelan Cole better than Amir Abdullah and DJ Turner at punt return? I don't know. I feel like DJ Turner could maybe do something. I don't know, man. Pacey Cunningham, shout out to PC. He says Chargers ain't ready for what we got for them. I don't think they are, bro. I really don't think they are. I don't think they have the same hunger they did at the beginning of the season, because going into this season, knowing we had to play the Chargers, I expected to lose. And I know some people are like, you expected to lose to the Chargers? And the reason I say that is because I feel that our mentality as a Raiders team, or just in general, is that we made the playoffs. Hear me out. We made the playoffs last year. So we're not thinking about the Chargers, right? We're not thinking, oh, we got to go get revenge on the Chargers. We got to go out full out and go hard on the Chargers. No, we're not thinking that. We're thinking we need to make the playoffs again and go farther. We're not thinking about the Chargers, you know what I mean? But the Chargers are thinking about us. So going into this season, the Chargers are thinking about us. The Chargers are thinking about what happened last year. The Chargers want their revenge on us. So the first week, I'm like, damn, the Chargers might win because they're more motivated. We're not thinking about them the same way they're thinking about us. You know what I mean? They're like that little brother that wants to get back at you, and you're the big brother that's thinking about getting the girls. You feel me? So with the Chargers, they're like little brother. And at this point in the season, I don't think they have that same motivation, man. I don't think they have that same drive. And I think it's going to be a good game, but I think we end up out on top at the end of the day. Ant Red says, Sea Chickens had their player blocking on DC interceptions from the sideline. He wasn't even in the game. Yeah, we had brought it up earlier, man, and we had watched it together. I don't know really what that was about, but I think it was just a celebration. He just thought he was down and he wanted to celebrate. He ended up going out there, but I don't think he really impacted it. But it definitely should have been what's it called? A penalty. Definitely should have been a penalty. Gord says Raid wants top 5 pick. Yes, I did want a top 5 pick. And I do. I wanted Jalen Carter. There's no secret to that. But to sit here and dwell on the fact that we won, I mean, what do you want me to say? You want me to be mad that we won? I'm not going to be mad that we won. I'm not going to be mad that we won. That's I don't know about that one. Not going to lie. I was a bit worried JJ might have been caught on the 86-yard touchdown. Yo, everybody was on me about this, Mike. Everybody was on me about this. They was like, oh, JJ didn't get caught. That's that breakaway speed that you always talk about. And I'm thinking in my head, bruh, do you not realize that every single defender in the backfield, on the secondary had failed? The safety fell down. There was nobody to catch him. But if you watch the post-game interviews, matter of fact, I got it right here. Even freaking Foster Moreau said it. Foster Moreau was like, I was just hoping he didn't get caught. And then I seen Matt Collins, he didn't block. And then I was like, Matt Collins, if you don't go block that guy before he catches Josh Jacobs, I'm going to kick your spine through your chest. That's what Foster Moreau said. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm not the only one thinking it if the players are thinking the same shit. So let me bring this up real quick, man. Because even Andre James said the same thing. And I had to send this to Honcho. I sent this shit to Honcho because me and Honcho be going back and forth in text messages. That's my guy, Honcho. Shout out to him. Make sure y'all go tune into Raider Honcho. But look at this. Man, I'm not the only one. Neither are you, Mike. So I was definitely excited that he took off for the 86-yard run. I was just excited in general for Josh Jacobs coming back after 2 seasons of kind of being hobbled, dealing with injuries, and him talking about this offseason, how he went to Florida and how he's training differently now, how he's conditioning his body differently now, how he's starting to learn that nutrition and eating is different this offseason than his prior 2 seasons. And I think it's paying off. And you talk about him having an injury going into this season, man, why can't Waller have the same mentality? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, Josh Jacobs goes out there with an injury, goes for 300 freaking yards, but you have Waller sitting out for nearly the entire season because of his hamstring. I mean, Keenan Allen even came back already. Keenan Allen for the Chargers had a hamstring thing, and he's played more than Waller this season. And I'm thinking in my head, like how? Keenan Allen's got so much more miles on his body than Darren Waller does. Like, I don't know, man. That's just shout out to Josh Jacobs, though. Jacobs is showing what a real leader's supposed to do, and I can only commend him, man. I don't know about Waller. He got to step up. And I can't really speak on Renfro because I feel like Renfro, you don't want to play around when you got injuries. You don't want to play around with Renfro's injuries, in my opinion, because he's a small guy, and they be lighting Renfro ass up, boy. They be lighting Renfro up, and he be getting hit in the head. I'd be scared for Renfro. I'll be honest. Like, whenever I see a player out on the field smaller than me playing in the NFL, I'd be scared for them, bro. I'd be scared for them. No cap. Hypocritical Raider talk. Listen to yourself talk, Raid. Gord, you listen. You're hypocritical. What is hypocritical about me saying I wanted a top 5 pick? If we suck, why wouldn't I want a top 5 pick? If we're going to win, why wouldn't I want us to keep winning? There's nothing hypocritical about that. There's nothing hypocritical about that. I'm okay with being on the clock, first round, 18 pick. How about you, Ray? I don't want the 18 pick though, because that means you didn't win or make the playoffs or win a Super Bowl. So it's like a double-edged sword. Like, what do you talk about, Gord? Every year you want the 18 pick, Gord? Let's use some logic here. Let's use Gord's logic. Every year, let's get the 18th pick. Every single year, let's get the 18th pick. Think about that for a second, bro. In order to have a certain pick, that means you have to be so good or so bad. I don't want to continue to be mediocre every single year and get the 18th pick. 18th pick. Next year, we'll get the 18th pick, and then we'll draft Alex Leatherwood. Are you happy with how we drafted last year, Gord? Are you happy with the fact that we drafted Alex Leatherwood with our 19th pick, Gord? Are you happy with that? Or would you have rather have got Penei Sewell? Or would you have rather have got Penei Sewell? Would you have rather had Penei Sewell or Alex Leatherwood, Gord? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know down in the comments, bro. Jeez Louise, this guy got an issue. You're not for winning. You can't be for winning if you want the 18th pick. What the hell? If you have the 18th pick, you're not winning, my guy. You're not winning. You're not making the playoffs. What? Bruh, that was crazy. Abdullah tried to kick the head off that defender with them Cobra Kai moves. Bro, honestly, he does that after all his touchdowns. But when he did it right there, I'm like, bro, he almost took that man's dome off. He was about to take Diggs' head off. I was like, bruh. But then when they called a penalty, I was like, how do you not pick that up? I feel like these refs don't have common sense. You know what I mean? Like, these refs don't have like any type of intellect. Like, bro, you don't realize that he was celebrating and then the guy walked around him and then he didn't intentionally try to kick this guy. Like, imagine if he literally intentionally tried to kick him. He would have got kicked out the game. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I'm just like, bro, the refs are fucking dumb, bro. Let's just put it that way. The refs are retarded. Because if he literally tried to kick him on purpose, he would have got kicked out the game if that was the point. But I think they realized he didn't do it on purpose. It was a celebration. So at that point, they should have said it was an accident and then pick up the flag. But I don't know. I guess they don't. I don't know. I'm not trying to understand the referees is just different, bro. Jacobs literally said, hold my beer in OT. Yeah. I was in disbelief, man. Almost dropped my new. Oh, what the hell? Hey. Y'all wilding, bro. Y'all wilding. I was thinking the same thing. Don't get caught from behind. Look, that's the only thing. I'm like, bro, he got that Porky the Pig laugh. Oh, bro, y'all going in on Andre James. Come on now. Waller got paid. He don't care. Yeah, it's hard to say, man. Huncho a real writer. Huncho, everybody's a real writer, man. This is what I'm saying. Like, just because we have difference of opinions, right, doesn't mean that person is not a Raiders fan. It doesn't mean that. All of us may have a different opinion. I may want us to go about building this team differently than Honcho does. I may want to go about it differently than Sanjeet does. Me and Sanjeet used to bump heads last year when we talked about the Raiders. We never bumped heads as individuals. We never bumped heads. Our personalities weren't bumping heads. We were bumping heads based on football opinions. Me and Sanjeet text. Me and Sanjeet know each other personally. We played high school football together. You think Sanjeet's going to sit there and say, Ray's not a real Raider fan? Sanjeet knows me. We were Raider fans when we were in high school, in middle school, when we were playing football together, and he was on the offensive line, and I was playing defensive back. So when people sit there and try to say something about us personally, it's like we know each other, like in real life. We went to school with each other. I used to walk to Sanjeet's house and play football in the street with him and his brother and his neighbors, with all our friends. So it's like, when people try to sit there and say this person's a real Raider, Honcho is a real Raider. Sanjeet's a real Raider. I know that. You know what I mean? His brother's a Raider fan. I'm a Raider fan. So we're all real Raider fans. We just have different opinions on how we want to build a team. That doesn't make any of us less of a Raiders fan or more of a Raiders fan. That's all I would say. The only thing that would make you more of a Raiders fan than the next person, in my opinion, is if you're someone like the Violator. Like, let's be honest. If you're someone like the Violator and you've been doing it for years after year after year, and you do the whole get up, you got the shoulder pads, and you do, bro, that's a whole nother level. Let's be honest. You have to give that homage there. But for the rest of us, man, we all Raider fans, man. We all support the same way. So it's like, I definitely agree. Honcho's a real Raider, though. Most definitely. He's an East Coast Raider at that. Raider Nation for life. 1970 says, we can't give D a pass. We went out and got Yasin, Jones, Billings, Averett, Brown, Harmon. Beginning of the season, we thought we would have a good defense. Whoa. Raider Nation for life, 1970. Pump the brakes, brother. I'm talking straight to you right now, man. When you say we, who do you mean by we? Because I did not think our defense would be good. When you talk about investments, this is what I'm saying. Rock Ya-Sin for Yannick Ngakoue was not a type of move that says this is going to make the defense good. Not at all. Andrew Billings was on practice squads. He's not a move to be made. How much is he even making? What's his cap hit? Anthony Averett was a Band-Aid. Jayon Brown a Band-Aid. Deron Harmon a Band-Aid. These are all Band-Aid moves that we made. Moves that you make on the defensive side of the ball would have been trading for Roquan Smith and signing him to a big contract. Trading for DeForest Buckner, sending a first-round pick and signing him to a big contract. Those are moves to make on the defense. For us Raider fans, these are what we think are moves, and it's not moves, guys. We have to get away from this mentality. You have to get away from this mentality. There's no way you think Anthony Averett, Jayon Brown, Deron Harmon, and Andrew Billings and Rock Ya-Sin are going to come in and turn this defense that have been terrible for 20 freaking years, 20 years of terrible defense. And you think these guys, these Band-Aid signings, which I like to call them, are going to change the defense for being bad after 20 years? But think about this. This is why I criticize the offense more than defense. This is why I don't even talk about the defense and criticize them. Because we knew last year the defense fucking sucked. And we knew our offense was good. We knew our offense had bright spots. We knew we had Waller. We knew we had Renfro. We knew we had Jacobs. We knew we had Carr. We knew we had a decent offensive line. We had Colton Miller, a staple at the left tackle. We knew our defense sucked. What do? We send a first, second, and $25 million for a wide receiver. When have we ever, since I've been a Raiders fan, when have we ever sent any type of capital, even brushed the thought of doing that for the defense? That's what I'm saying. The offense was already pretty good. We knew the defense sucked. We knew we needed a D tackle. When did we go send capital so we could have a star player like a Devontae Adams, but for the defense? We never did that. So how could we assume imagine, this is confusing me, man, because why did we think Andrew Billings would be good or would change the defense? He's playing good, but why did we think he would change the defense? Why? He's been on people's practice squads, man. Anthony Averett was a backup until Marcus Peters got hurt, and the Ravens let him go because Marcus Peters came back. Jayon Brown got brushed away, and they brought up a guy they drafted in David Long over in Tennessee. I got a very good friend in Tennessee that's a Titans fan. He told me Jayon Brown was trash. He was telling me they let go of Jayon Brown because they drafted David Long, and David Long was like a fifth-round draft pick linebacker that stole Jayon Brown's spot. There's a reason we only gave these guys one-year contracts. We didn't give Devontae Adams a one-year contract because we knew we needed him, and he's good, right? You give good players long-term contracts. If we knew any of these players were good, we would have gave them a long-term contract like we did Chandler Jones. Which Chandler Jones I didn't agree with, because why are we bringing in an old player? We bring in a player that's 32 years old, past his prime, but we won't trade for Roquan Smith, a second and a fifth-round pick. And this is what I like to use is we sent a first and a second. So that's our first and second round pick. We use it on the offense. Our defense sucks. What do? We use our first and second on the offense, though. Okay, so our defense is still going to suck. We use our third round pick on the offensive line. So our defense is still going to suck. We use $108 million on the offense and $58 million on the defense. So it makes me assume the defense is still going to suck. So how can we even assume that they're going to be good and be able to carry the offense? Shouldn't the offense be carrying the defense? And that's why I criticize the offense more than the defense. Those are Band-Aid signings. Those are Band-Aid signings. You brought up Andrew Billings, a guy that was on practice squads. Rocky Sin, people said he wasn't even that good. So why all of a sudden when he comes here, you think he's going to be good? Anthony Everett's a backup that we're starting. Anthony Everett was never a starter in his career. He lost his job after being drafted, and Marcus Peters was Marcus Peters' backup. Deron Harmon is like 50 years old, and he's been our best safety the last decade. So it's like, come on now. There's no way that all of us thought this defense was going to be good. Like, there's no way. There's no way. So that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. They underperformed or scheme sucks, I think. And it's like we need players that are going to make an impact. We did it on offense. We did it on offense when we traded for Devontae Adams. And this is another thing I'll say. Devontae Adams was a first and a second round pick. DeForest Buckner and Roquan Smith were a first and second round pick. We chose to bring in Devontae Adams. We didn't choose to bring in DeForest Buckner and Roquan Smith. Do you think our defense would be better if we had DeForest Buckner and Roquan Smith? Let me know down in the chat right now. Let me know in the chat. If you had Max Crosby, DeForest Buckner, Chandler Jones, Roquan Smith, Denzel Perriman, Rocky Sin, Nate Hobbs, fucking bro, that's more than half the defense is going to be primetime players. I would assume our defense would be good then. That's when I would assume our defense would be good, but not with Avery. I didn't even like Avery. Avery's the same size as me, and I've been telling you guys, I don't like small corners. If there's a player on the field the same size as me, I am scared for that player. I am scared for Avery. I would not want to be on the field having a tackle of Josh Jacobs. I do not want to be on the field at my size, at my build, trying to tackle Kenneth Walker. Like, bruh, that would be, hell no. I'd be scared for my health. I would be scared for my health, bruh. Shout out to Michael for pulling up, man. He says, props to my Germany guy, Jakob Johnson. Always there for the dirty work, just saying. He is always there, man. Shout out to Jakob Johnson. I feel like we should have fed him on that 4th and inches, honestly. Either a quarterback sneak or a quick little handoff to Jakob Johnson. Give him opportunity to go get that 4th and inches too, man. We got to utilize him sometimes in those situations. I'm going to catch up to the chat because I got caught up in that dialogue trying to explain. Shout out to you, Red Nation for Life, pulling back up on the Super. I wasn't getting on you, dog. I was just explaining kind of how I felt about the defense and how I felt based on the investments that we made. That's all I was saying. Appreciate you, dog, for supporting and being here with us, dog. You said, who you blame, Ray? No need to resign this year. I don't really blame. If anything, I just blame this regime, if anything. If I really had to blame, I'd blame the regime because they decided to go heavy on offense. They decided to send a lot of money on that side of the ball. We didn't have to resign. For instance, we didn't have to re-sign Waller because he had 2 years left on his contract. And if we would have waited and he wanted to hold out, well, that's fine because he's hurt anyways. But the point is that we re-signed him to a contract when he had 2 years left, which is kind of like, why are we jumping the gun? Instead of going out there to try to re-sign or sign a defensive player, right? You talk about bringing in Devontae Adams, and I brought that up as well. We gave a 1st and a 2nd round pick for Devontae Adams, also giving him $25 million a year. If we would have sent a 1st for Buckner and a 2nd for Roquan Smith, then we would have had a 1st and 2nd. And I'm not talking about Buckner this very year. I know some people will say that. Not this very year, but that's what he was traded for. Our defense would be a lot better. I assume our defense would be crazy if you had Buckner next to Crosby. That alone, Buckner and Crosby next to each other, I don't even know, dog, because the Colts don't have edge rushers like a Crosby. So that would be tough. But as far as just blaming, I don't really blame anybody right now, man. It's hard to say in first year to blame anybody on with a new regime. You have to give them time. That's why I always said I don't think Josh McDaniels is going anywhere. You just have to give them time. Rocket Steady says Harmon and Chandler Jones buying Sure and Centrum Silver in bulk. Oh, bro, you foul, Rockins. That boy foul. You talk about them boys buying them old people vitamins and drinking Insured and protein drinks. That boy crazy. Boy, you crazy as hell for that one. He says Centrum Silver in bulk. I wasn't expecting that. Michael says, tell us your exact plan to fix the defense. People saying all we need is a D tackle, but I think we need more. I think we just need a D tackle. I'll be honest, Michael. Now the caliber of D tackle is what it's based on. We need a D tackle that's as good as Crosby. It's that simple. And I know people, oh, how are you going to get that? I mean, we kind of missed out on Buckner, for instance, but guys are out there. And last year, there was plenty in the draft. Last year was a crazy draft for defensive tackles. This upcoming season, draft, there was a guy named Jalen Carter I really wanted. And I think that's what Gorder was getting on me about so much, because that's why I would say I want a top 5 pick so we can go get Jalen Carter. Because if you put Jalen Carter in the middle of this defense, guys, it's going to change the entire defense. The moment you get pressure on the quarterback, think about it. When Andrew Billings, and this is why I say that, an example, when Andrew Billings was getting pressure up the middle against Seattle on Geno Smith, we were a completely different team. We looked completely different. The defense just looked different. All it took was interior defensive pressure. That's all it took. So if we got a guy that could do that like Jalen Carter, then I would assume that our defense would go up so quick. Now, another guy I would want to get is a safety. Now, you talk about, and this is what I'm saying, you talk about a team that invested in the defense, the Eagles, in one season, guys, they got what's his name? Chauncey or some shit? I don't know, but it's Gardner, the safety. They went and got him. They went and got James Bradbury to match up with Darius Slay. Could y'all imagine James Bradbury and Nate Hobbs on the same team and Rock Ya-Sin? Think about that, y'all. We didn't. James Bradbury was available. He was playing with Patrick Graham, and we still didn't get him. And I'm thinking in my head, like, bruh, we could have Nate Hobbs and James Bradbury as our cornerback duo. Why not? Why not? That's what I'm saying. We didn't invest in the defense like we did offense. How do we fix this defense? Obviously, the only way we can, in my opinion, is going out in the draft and drafting right, because if we want to keep Josh Jacobs, there's too much money wrapped up in the offense to be able to go and afford to go pull in some more guys for the defense to produce, or else, because what's going to end up happening, we're just going to get another Jayon Brown. We're just going to get another Corey Littleton, another Jayon Brown, another Anthony Averett, another, what is it? Just other guys like Sean Smith that we had brought in at cornerback, just a bunch of random names that are just backups. And it's like, that's never going to elevate this team. If it takes you a first and second round pick to elevate your offense and bring back Devontae Adams, which your offense is already decent, then what the hell is it going to take you to elevate a 20-year drought of a bad defense? It's going to probably take you a couple of first-round picks to go get somebody to elevate it. So for me, the logic is right there in front of us. Some of us don't want to look at it. Mo Dizzle says, why are you using next year's salary cap for this year's team? The reason you use next year's salary cap is because those are the contracts that are hitting. We're not signing players right now, correct? We'll be signing players next year. We're not going to be drafting players right now. We're going to be drafting players next year. So you have to use next year's salary cap because that's when we'll sign players. I don't really understand your question. Why are you using next year's salary cap for this year's team? I don't really understand your question, though. I don't understand the question. I'll bring it up. If I have to explain it verbatim, I'll show you what I'm talking about, though. Cap. What's it called? What's that one thing called? I'm drawing a blank. It's not cap. Raiders cap. I'll just put in Raiders cap. I forgot what the cap thing called. Raiders cap salary. What's that? Over the cap. Okay, I'll pull up over the cap so I can explain it to you guys real quick. Because I want you guys to see this. And I've shown it in my other lives. I've explained it a bunch of times. And you're saying, why am I using next year's cap? So let me go ahead and bring it up real quick. So this is the Raiders cap right here. So people say, why? So Mo Dizzle has a good question. It's a valid question. Why am I using next year's cap for this year's season? So right now it says the cap is $86 million for the offense. And this is what he means. He's saying that right now the cap for the offense is $86 million. Yes, right now. But you have to understand, we signed a lot of players on the offense. So we only have we only have $8 million in cap space, right? We only have $8 million in cap space right now. We use the money to re-sign the offense. So the contracts or contract extensions, for those who understand, contract extensions are basically a second contract that's attached to your original contract. So you're going to get what you're already going to get paid this year. Your contract extension is going to be activated the next year. So this is what I'm going to show you example. Go ahead, just bear with me here. Bear with me here. I got to zoom in. Bear with me. A little salary cap education, I guess. I had to learn this myself after looking at it. And this is a good example of what I mean. Let's find Hunter Renfrow on here, right? Where's Hunter Renfrow at? Hunter Renfrow. Where's Hunter Renfrow at? Where the hell is Renfrow? Okay. Is it Renfrow not on this? What the hell? Where's Hunter Renfrow? Am I tripping? I might be tripping, bro. I don't see Hunter Renfrow. Hunter Renfrow. Yo, where is Hunter Renfrow at? What the heck? Let me scroll down. Maybe he's injured reserve. Okay, that's why he's on injured reserve. Okay, so here we are. Hunter Renfrow, my fault. That thing wasn't even on where it's supposed to be at. So he asked me, why am I using it? So this is why. You look at the salary cap. What is going on with this thing, man? Okay, so you look at Hunter Renfrow's salary cap hit. Right here, it says $3.5 million. This is why I use next year's. Right now, Hunter Renfrow is getting $3.5 million. We all know as Raider fans, he just got a contract extension. He's not getting $3.5 million anymore. We know he gets more than $3.5 million. So the reason I use next year's salary cap is because right now he's getting 3.5. What happens next year? So I click on 2023. You guys see I click on 2023. How much is he getting next year in 2023? Let's go down and look. Where's Hunter Renfrow? Here's Hunter Renfrow right here. There's Hunter Renfrow. Let's see. Cap number for Hunter Renfrow. Let's find it. 13.3. This is why you use next year's salary cap. Because, yes, it says 3.5 for Hunter Renfrow right now, but 10 more million he's going to get next year. People ain't going to sit there and look at the salary cap and be like, there's 10 more million extra. No, there's not. Because next year, Hunter Renfrow is going from 3 million to 13 million. He's getting 10 more $1 million. Now we could do the same thing with Derek Carr, right? I'll show you guys this. You guys, I'm not talking out of my ass, okay? Derek Carr, he's getting 19 million right now, okay? You guys see Derek Carr is getting 19 million right now to be our quarterback. Next year, he's going to nearly get double. Next year, he's going to nearly get double. His cap hit is 35 million next year. So between Derek Carr and Hunter Renfrow, the salary cap is going to go down 25 million because we're giving Derek Carr $15 million more dollars, and we're going to be giving Hunter Renfrow $10 million. So you just allocated $25 million more dollars than this year to the offense already because of those contract extensions. That's why you use next year's, because you're not going to go into next year saying, oh, I have this much money. No, you're going to go into next year being next year and say, I'm giving 15 more to Carr and 10 more to Hunter Renfrow. I only have this much. It's not going to, no magic is going to happen. So that's why you have to use next year's for those who don't understand. The Raider says exactly. Complaining about the defense is like complaining that I don't have blue eyes. Can't complain about something you never had in the front. That's a different analogy, my God. That shit actually funny, though. That's just funny, man. DE or D tackle? D tackle. We need a pass rushing D tackle, guys. We have to. We have to. It starts with D tackle, most definitely. Let me catch up to the chat. We got a couple of supers in here. JR65 back in the building. What's good with you, folks? He says, ever since we added the D tackle off waivers, the defense looks better, but we need that star D tackle and linebacker for this defense to be great. Let's beat the chokers. Most definitely, man. And I feel like we could have had that in Buckner and Roquan Smith, especially Roquan Smith, the second and the fifth. I don't think we're going to find a linebacker as good as Roquan Smith in the second round. So why not send a second round pick for him? That's just kind of how I see it. Raider Lux says D-Pain draft best middle linebacker, then address cornerback and safety. I don't know if we're going to be able to pick up Daron Payne. If he does hit free agency, it's a no-brainer, Lux. It is a no-brainer to go get Daron Payne, but I don't know if he's going to hit free agency because I feel like if they were to let him walk, why wouldn't they have just traded him? You know what I mean? And especially because teams were trying to go after him. So I think they're going to re-sign him. But at the end of the day, if he's free, we got to go get Payne. I've definitely been waiting to bring him in. Manuel Rivera says, I'm starting to see improvement on the defense. Most definitely, bro. You know, we got to look at the film on Tillery. So I'm going to definitely look at Tillery here soon. They're playing HR 13 in Bitcoin. Man, I don't even know. That shit took a nosedive too. Yeah, man. That's tough. It's tough, man. Stoner, I don't know where Stoner is. Stoner may be on the practice squad. And damn, what is this? We have 10 million dead cap money in Corey Littleton. Are you serious? Yo, Nation, look at this shit. I don't know if this is accurate, but it says 2023, right? Y'all see that, right? It says 2023 right there at the top. I click on the 2023 tab, scroll down, and it says dead cap money, 10 million to Corey Littleton. Are you kidding me? We're paying 10 million to Corey Littleton, still Carl Nassib 5, Kenyon Drake 5, Alex Leatherwood 4. Holy smokes. That's bad. That's oh man, that's tough, yo. That's a tough one. Sheesh. I don't know about that. I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. 10 million to Corey Littleton. Wow. Crazy one. Yo, we've been up here over an hour though, guys. Hell of a game. AJ Simpson said, Raid, you can find a starting linebacker in the second and third round in this draft class. Yeah, I believe you can find a good linebacker in the second, third round. I think you can. Just make sure he's a linebacker. Please just draft a linebacker that's a linebacker, not a safety that's 215 pounds or 220 pounds, and you're trying to change them to linebacker. Just draft a linebacker, please. Just do that. That's all I'm saying. Yep, a bunch of dead cap here. That's crazy. I thought Littleton cap was this year. Hey, I don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't know. Let's go check. Let me check. Maybe it just rolled over. Our dead cap this year is 45 million, though, y'all. Nation, our dead cap this year, Nation, is 45 million. This is this year. This is 2022. It says 45 million. We're paying Yannick 8 million in dead cap. Kukowski 5 million. Ruggs 5. Corey Littleton 4. We're paying Corey Littleton 4 this year and Corey Littleton 10 next year. Holy smokes. Damon Arnett 3.5, Kenyon Drake 3.6, Jonathan Abram 2.6, Alex Leatherwood 2. Yo, I don't even know what to say to that. 45 million dead cap. Woof. Cruzo said, thanks, Raider. Have a good day, kids. Shout out to you, Cruzo. Appreciate you pulling up, man, being a part of this one. He says, haha, meant Raid. Thanks, Raid. Have a great day, kid. I understand what you're saying, man. I know what you meant, Cujo. Shout out to you, Cujo, for pulling up and supporting. Always supporting, especially supporting the brand and everything like that. Everybody in the chat that supported the brand this past weekend, I appreciate y'all. Y'all got me working my ass off because I got a lot of orders in that I got to go take care of. Spent all day yesterday doing it. Got to do some this morning. But, yo, and I'm still here trying to put in some work online. So I appreciate y'all. Drake C should have kept him. Yeah, that's why I don't know. We definitely should have kept him. Paco Taco says Stoner in on the practice squad IR. I don't know where Stoner's at myself. Raid, you skipped 4 comments from me. Let me go back and see if I can find a comment from Kenny. My fault, Kenny. I may have skipped a few of you guys' comments because I was trying to get down to the super chats. Billings, yes, sir, Raider Nation for life. Billings was most definitely balling. He was out there balling for surely. Big Bill did his thing. Hope he plays next week. Ha, Big Bill. Yeah. Shout out to Casey Bourne for pulling up, man. Raiders gonna win out. We gonna find out, bro. We gonna find out. Raider Andy, shout out to you, man. Seeing you in the building as well. Where the hell is this man Kenny at? This man Kenny. I can't have Kenny tripping. You know them old heads be on you. Them old heads be mad, boy. Kenny, I don't see a single comment from you. I don't see a single comment. EJ, I see you, brother. EJ, I see you. Shima. Yeah. Shima, what's good with you, man? I don't see a single comment from Kenny. Maybe that's why I didn't read anything. SVT says, you going to the game Sunday, Raid? Who got the tickets for the jug? If you guys got tickets for the game this Sunday, which people probably won't sell them because now we're winning, make sure to hit the DMs. Hit the Instagram DMs. We're trying to go to that game this Sunday, man. Hit the DMs if you know where to get some good tickets for the Lolo. Oh, yeah, Mo Dizzle put us on game. He let us know 45 million dead cap this year. That's wild. Kenny, man, I don't see any of your damn comments. Have a good day, Mike. Appreciate you pulling up. Let the family know. Have a good day. I hope you and your family had a good Thanksgiving, brother. I really do. I hope the young one, I hope the young brother over there, your young son, doing well as well. Doing good as well. Doing well as well. Doing good as well. You know what I'm saying, man. I just need to get my I just don't need to be out here Kenny, I don't see any comments. I went back and looked, brother. I do not see a single comment from you, Kenny. I don't see a single comment from you, Kenny. And I'm taking the time right before this. Here we go. Kenny says, let's win this game first before talking about others. The Patriots have drafted bottom fourth every year for 20 years, and they draft well consistently. Yeah, they drafted well. I'm not going to lie. They drafted – I want to say they drafted well consistently because they drafted N'Keal Harry, which was a terrible bust as a wide receiver. Tyquan Thornton is doing terrible. They don't know how to draft receivers for shit. Who have they drafted that's super good? I guess Ramondre Stevenson. They don't really draft tight ends too. I mean, they do draft tight ends, I guess. Who else did they draft? Jonathan Jones, J.C. Jackson. They don't really draft anybody that's too crazy good. I don't really know on that one, to be honest. But, yo, I'm going to get out of here, y'all. We approaching an hour and a half, man. Appreciate everybody pulling up. If y'all can, make sure to hit that like button before you guys dip out. If y'all want to join the membership and check out some film, go ahead and join the membership. Hit the subscribe button if y'all new here. And check out Redemption Brand if y'all haven't already. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. And until next time, y'all, ready to tape.